December is a month where we're all supposed to slow down, drink something warm, and pretend we're organized for Christmas. But the gaming world decided this was the perfect moment to drop some amazing brand new game reveals and completely destroy any chance of catching up. So let's run through everything that just got announced and see what's actually worth your attention before the year officially taps out. The Godslayer is an upcoming open-world action RPG from Pythia Games, the studio behind My Time at Portia, and it represents a bold departure into darker, more cinematic territory. Set in an Eastern-inspired steampunk world ruled by oppressive celestials, players step into the role of Cheng, an Elemancer who wields elemental powers reminiscent of Avatar, the Last Airbender, blending martial arts combat with flashy, customizable abilities. The narrative revolves around rebellion against gods who treat humanity as insignificant, positioning the protagonist as a mask-wearing vigilante leading a resistance movement. Gameplay emphasizes exploration of vast steampunk cities and landscapes, dynamic boss battles, and a 40-hour campaign filled with lore-rich storytelling and wuxia-style martial arts spectacle. With its fusion of cultural aesthetics, elemental combat systems, and cinematic presentation, the Godslayer aims to deliver a fresh take on mythic RPGs. The game is confirmed for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC via Steam, though its release date remains officially unannounced.
Come on!
Samson. A Tyndalston story is the debut title from Liquid Swords, the new studio founded by Christopher Sundberg, creator of the Just Cause franchise, and it plunges players into a gritty, consequence-heavy noir action experience set in the unforgiving city of Tyndalston. You play as Samson McRae, a man crushed by mounting debt that grows with interest every passing hour, forcing him into desperate jobs where every decision burns limited action points and permanently alters how the city responds to him. The game's design emphasizes raw physical combat, visceral encounters, and a pressure-driven loop where survival depends on violence, quick judgment, and navigating a hostile urban environment that pushes back relentlessly. Inspired by noir storytelling and systemic gameplay, Samson's world is built on the brutal truth that standing still only makes things worse, creating a tense rhythm of risk and consequence that defines every choice. Developed by veterans of Just Cause and Mad Max, the game promises a dark, atmospheric narrative with crunchy, grounded mechanics. Samson. A Tyndalston story is scheduled to launch in early 2026 for PC via Steam and the Epic Games Store. Sol Shogunate is an ambitious samurai space opera action RPG from Chaos Manufacturing, a new studio formed by veteran developers who previously worked on acclaimed titles like Horizon, The Witcher, Respawn, and CD Projekt Red. The game thrusts players into an alternate future where humanity has colonized the solar system but still lives under the strict codes of feudal Japan with the way of the sword governing society across planets and moons. You play as Yuzuki, the lone heir of a once powerful samurai family destroyed by a rival clan, who has undergone genetic engineering to survive the harsh lunar landscape and now seeks vengeance through fluid, spectacle-driven combat. The experience blends cinematic storytelling, J-rock-infused music, and tight third-person action mechanics, promising a universe where massive robotic foes, rival samurai, and cosmic shogunate politics collide. With its fusion of Japanese tradition and futuristic sci-fi, Sol Shogunate aims to deliver a thrilling, emotional, and unforgettable RPG journey. The game is scheduled for release in 2027 on PlayStation 5, PC via Steam, and other consoles. When Sirens Fall Silent is the newly announced psychological thriller from LKA, the acclaimed Italian studio behind The Town of Light and Martha is Dead, published by Wired Productions. Set in early 1990s Italy, the game follows Mila, a troubled policewoman haunted by her past, who is thrust into a harrowing investigation involving kidnappings and murders that spiral into a vortex of violence, mystery, and psychological torment. True to LKA's tradition, the game meticulously recreates real Italian locations, immersing players in a hauntingly authentic environment where every clue and decision carries emotional weight. The narrative is built around themes of trauma, identity, and survival, with a chilling tone that blends investigative gameplay and psychological horror, pushing players to confront disturbing truths while unraveling Mila's fragile psyche. The announcement trailer teases a prisoner's desperate plea broadcast to a news station, setting the stage for a dark investigative journey that promises to be both violent and deeply emotional. When Sirens Fall Silent is confirmed for PC via Steam and the Epic Games Store, with its release date yet to be announced.
21-year-old Moldova who was rescued during this morning's raid. It is believed that this young woman is a victim of sex trafficking.
Total War. Medieval 3 is the newly announced entry in Creative Assembly's legendary strategy franchise, revealed during the studio's 25th anniversary showcase as the rebirth of historical Total War. Positioned as the ultimate medieval sandbox, the game promises to let players shape realms, rewrite history, and immerse themselves in the Middle Ages with unprecedented freedom, combining meticulous historical authenticity with bold new mechanics powered by the Warcore engine. Early concept art and a live-action teaser highlight kings, queens, and regents locked in political intrigue, while the developers emphasize a focus on player agency, systemic depth, and large-scale battles that surpass anything seen in Medieval 2. The announcement marks Creative Assembly's earliest reveal of a Total War game, intended to involve fans in shaping its vision throughout development. While details on factions, campaigns, and features remain under wraps, the project is confirmed to be in early pre-production, meaning its release is still years away. Total War, Medieval 3 will launch on PC via Steam and the Epic Games Store, with no official release date yet announced.
So,
how will you shape your realm?
Carmageddon Rogue Shift is the brutal revival of the legendary vehicular combat franchise developed by 34 Big Things and published under Embracer Group, reimagining the series with roguelite progression and silky arcade handling. Set in a post-apocalyptic wasteland overrun by zombie-like creatures known as the Wasted, players are thrust behind the wheel of heavily armed killing machines tasked with adapting, upgrading, and unleashing destruction across branching event maps and dynamic challenges. The game emphasizes replayability through roguelite systems, offering 15 customizable vehicles with unique weight and suspension, alongside 13 weapon classes ranging from shotguns to railguns, all upgradable for maximum carnage. Dynamic weather, day-night cycles, and boss encounters against massive war rigs and corrupted enforcers add layers of unpredictability, while progression between runs ensures long-term depth. True to the Carmageddon legacy, Rogue Shift embraces over-the-top gore, chaotic racing, and gleeful experimentation, promising both nostalgia for longtime fans and fresh thrills for newcomers. Carmageddon Rogue Shift is scheduled to launch in early 2026 on PC, Steam and Epic Games Store, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 5 Pro, Xbox Series X and S, and Nintendo Switch 2. Luna Abyss is an upcoming first-person bullet hell action-adventure developed by Quali Labs and published by Quali, set within the eerie confines of a mimic moon that hides a vast abyss filled with corrupted souls and cosmic horrors. Players take on the role of Fox, a prisoner condemned to explore the depths of Luna, where every step uncovers fragments of a cryptic prophecy while reminding them of their ongoing sentence. The game blends fast-paced bullet hell combat with fluid platforming and narrative-driven exploration, creating a tense rhythm of discovery and survival. Its atmosphere is steeped in grim, oppressive visuals, reinforced by haunting sound design and lore-rich storytelling that gradually reveals the unsettling truth behind the abyss. A demo currently available on Steam showcases multiple environments, enemy encounters, and the game's unique fusion of narrative and action mechanics, offering a glimpse into its dark, mysterious world. Luna Abyss is confirmed for release on PC via Steam and the Epic Games Store, with consoles planned, though its official release date has not yet been announced. MIO. Memories in Orbit is a handcrafted sci-fi Metroidvania from French indie studio Deux Dixiem, published by Focus Entertainment, that plunges players into the mysterious vessel, a colossal technological ark overrun by rogue machines. You play as MIO, an android awakening with fragmented memories, tasked with uncovering the secrets of the vessel while enhancing abilities to survive its labyrinthine halls. The game blends atmospheric exploration, precision platforming, and bullet hell-inspired combat, offering a mix of fluid traversal and tense encounters against corrupted mechanical foes. Its art direction emphasizes a vibrant yet haunting visual style, combining hand-drawn animation with futuristic design, while the narrative explores themes of identity, memory, and survival in a collapsing world. With roguelike influences and a progression system that rewards experimentation, MIO promises to deliver both emotional storytelling and challenging gameplay. Memories in Orbit is officially set to launch worldwide on January 20th, 2026 for PC, Steam, and Epic Games Store, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Nintendo Switch 2. Romeo is a Dead Man is the next ultra-violent sci-fi action game from Grasshopper Manufacture led by the legendary Suda51, and it marks the studio's first new IP in over 5 years. Players step into the role of Romeo Stargazer, an FBI space-time special agent resurrected by donning the mysterious Dead Gear mask, which grants him brutal powers to hunt fugitives across surreal dystopian landscapes. Combat is a stylish blend of gunplay and swordplay, punctuated by the Bloody Summer special attack that absorbs the blood of fallen foes to unleash devastating finishers, reflecting Grasshopper's trademark mix of outrageous spectacle and dark humor. The narrative promises a chaotic, unpredictable journey filled with bizarre characters, cosmic conspiracies, and the studio's signature punk rock energy, while gameplay emphasizes fluid third-person action and over-the-top violence reminiscent of No More Heroes and Shadows of the Damned. With its blend of sci-fi absurdity, visceral combat, and Suda51's eccentric storytelling, Romeo is a Dead Man is shaping up to be one of 2026's most distinctive releases. The game launches worldwide on February 11th, 2026 for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC, with a potential Nintendo Switch 2 port under consideration. The House of Hikmah is an upcoming narrative-driven 3D puzzle adventure from Lunacy Studios, revealed at the PC gaming show Most Wanted, and it explores grief, legacy, and healing through the eyes of Maya, a 14-year-old girl coping with the loss of her father. Set within the awe-inspiring House of Wisdom, inspired by the real intellectual hub of the Islamic Golden Age, the game blends historical intrigue with a deeply personal story, allowing players to interact with scholars of the era while solving puzzles that symbolize emotional and intellectual growth. Its atmosphere is designed to evoke the meditative beauty of titles like Journey and Abzu, with music composed by Austin Wintory, Journey, The Pathless, and development contributions from veterans of Mass Effect, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and Life is Strange. The game promises a fully voiced, emotionally resonant narrative that connects players to themes of grief and purpose, while offering a visually stunning and culturally rich environment. The House of Hikmah is scheduled to launch in the first quarter of 2026 for PC via Steam.
Almost your voice. Perhaps it holds the answers. Perhaps it holds you.
Rivage is an atmospheric sci-fi puzzle adventure from Ex Nihilo Studio published by Raw Fury that strands players aboard the ARES research station in the 25th century, where a mysterious space phenomenon has fractured reality and left the crew missing. As the lone survivor, you must explore the haunting corridors of the vessel Vesta, uncover logs and fragments of the vanished scientists, and solve intricate time loop puzzles that bend physics and logic. Central to progression is the K9 system, a mechanic that allows knowledge to persist across resets, forcing players to adapt strategies and carry forward insights with each cycle. The game's design emphasizes a blend of cerebral puzzle solving, narrative discovery, and immersive world building, with a visual style that balances eerie isolation and futuristic wonder. Rivage promises a deeply emotional journey through themes of memory, survival, and the fragility of human understanding when confronted with cosmic anomalies. Rivage is scheduled to release in 2026 for PC via Steam. Replaced is a cinematic 2.5D cyberpunk action platformer developed by Sadcat Studios and published by Thunderful, set in an alternate 1980s America scarred by nuclear catastrophe. Players step into the role of REACH, an AI unwillingly trapped in a human body, navigating the neon-lit streets of Phoenix City, a dystopian stronghold ruled by the corrupt Phoenix Corporation. The game blends retro-futuristic pixel art with fluid combat mechanics, allowing players to chain melee strikes and ranged attacks in high-intensity encounters while exploring crumbling districts, industrial wastelands, and rain-soaked alleys. Its narrative emphasizes moral complexity, identity, and survival, with a synth-driven soundtrack and cinematic presentation that evoke both nostalgia and modern storytelling. Replaced promises a gripping single-player experience where every choice uncovers sinister secrets and deepens the struggle between humanity and machine. Replaced is officially set to launch worldwide on March 12, 2026 for PC, Xbox Series X and S, and Xbox One, and will be available day one on Xbox Game Pass. Last Flag is a fast-paced 5 vs 5 multiplayer shooter from Night Street Games that reinvents the classic Capture the Flag mode with a bold game show twist. Instead of static flag positions, teams must first hide their flag anywhere on the map, creating unpredictable strategies and chaotic encounters as contestants battle to steal, return, and defend under the spotlight of a televised competition. The game emphasizes teamwork, deception, and spectacle, blending hero shooter mechanics with colorful, stylized visuals and a competitive arena atmosphere. Each match becomes a mix of tactical planning and frantic execution, where players not only fight but also entertain, embodying the show-stopping energy of a live broadcast. With modes that encourage both PvP and co-op play, Last Flag aims to stand out in the crowded shooter genre by focusing on creativity, unpredictability, and audience-driven excitement. Last Flag is scheduled to release in 2026 for PC via Steam, with a demo already available for early playtesting.
New plan.
Just wing it!
Plague Doctor Life in Pestilence is a medieval medical simulation developed and published by PST Games, immersing players in the grim reality of the Black Death as they rise from an unknown quack to a reputable plague doctor. Set against the backdrop of a world collapsing under pestilence, the game challenges players to establish and expand a clinic, gather scarce resources, brew remedies, and perform surgeries while balancing morality and survival. Every decision carries weight. Uphold the Hippocratic Oath to save lives or exploit desperation for personal gain as the plague spreads day by day. The gameplay supports solo or up to 4-player online co-op, allowing friends to collaborate in managing patients, crafting cures, and confronting the relentless tide of disease. With immersive sim mechanics, base building, and choices that matter, the game blends historical authenticity with dark, atmospheric storytelling, offering a unique perspective on life during one of history's deadliest pandemics. Plague Doctor is coming soon to PC via Steam, with its release date yet to be announced. About Fishing is a retro-style fishing mystery game developed by the Water Museum and published by PlayStack, designed as a love letter to Shenmue and Sega-based fishing. Beneath its calm exterior of casting lines and trading catches lies a darker narrative where every fish reeled in may reveal fragments of a long-forgotten mystery hidden beneath the surface. The game blends meditative angling mechanics with psychological thriller elements, creating a unique rhythm that drifts between serenity and unease. Each catch has distinct behaviors to learn, while upgrading gear and exploring new waters gradually uncovers unsettling truths. Its 1990s-inspired aesthetic, polygonal character models, and atmospheric soundtrack evoke Dreamcast-era nostalgia, yet the narrative pushes players into unexpected territory where the fish themselves become guides to deeper secrets. With its mix of fishing simulation, exploration, and detective-style storytelling, About Fishing promises to be both relaxing and haunting. About Fishing is confirmed for release on PlayStation 5 and PC via Steam, with the release date yet to be announced. Brightfall is an upcoming cooperative open-world survival roguelite from Darkpoint Games, blending eerie atmosphere with deep crafting and exploration. Brightfall is set on a cursed Celtic island in the year 1666, erased from English maps and consumed by a mysterious, living darkness that reacts dynamically to player actions. Designed for 1 to 4 players, the game combines survival mechanics, base building, and roguelite progression with a unique emphasis on light as both a resource and a weapon against encroaching horrors. Players must gather materials, craft defenses, and push back the darkness while navigating a world steeped in 17th century folklore and unsettling world building. Its tone balances moments of camaraderie with creeping dread, offering a Valheim-like sense of cooperative adventure but with a darker, more narrative-driven twist. The game's trailer highlights pirate-inspired narration, haunting visuals, and a strong sense of unease, promising both large-scale exploration and tense encounters. Brightfall is confirmed for release in 2026 on PC via Steam, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Nintendo Switch 2.
Lad, this place can not only change you.
Cairn is an upcoming survival climbing adventure from the Game Bakers, the studio behind Fury and Haven, and it pushes players into the role of Ava, a mountaineer attempting the impossible ascent of Mount Kami, a peak no one has ever conquered. Unlike traditional adventure games, Cairn focuses entirely on the physical and psychological challenge of climbing, requiring players to carefully control each limb to secure handholds and footholds while managing stamina, hunger, and injuries. Between grueling climbs, Ava must pitch tents, cook meals, and rest to recover, creating a rhythm of preparation and peril that mirrors real mountaineering. The game blends ultra-realistic climbing mechanics with survival elements, while weaving in a narrative about sacrifice, solitude, and the human drive to reach beyond limits. Atmospheric visuals, haunting soundscapes, and encounters with other climbers add depth to the journey, promising around 15 hours of tense, immersive gameplay. Cairn is officially set to release on January 29, 2026 for PlayStation 5 and PC via Steam. Castouts thrust players into an urban fantasy battleground where you and your crew wield visceral physical magic, amplifying each other's powers to repel invading forces threatening the city. Inspired by titles like Left 4 Dead, the game emphasizes true cooperation, allowing players of all skill levels to synergize abilities in chaotic, high-octane encounters. Spellcasting is designed to hit with the raw impact of a brawler and the immediacy of a shooter, creating a spectacle of combat that balances accessibility with depth. Twisted Works, a studio formed by veteran developers from PlayStation London Studio, Guerrilla Cambridge, Creative Assembly, and Square Enix, has infused the project with pedigree and ambition, drawing on ideas from London Studio's cancelled fantasy multiplayer project. The result is a game show-like atmosphere of teamwork, deception, and spectacle, where every battle feels unpredictable and cinematic. Castouts is confirmed for release on PlayStation 5 and PC via Steam, with its launch window yet to be announced. DarkCraft is a newly announced free-to-play MMORPG that blends the punishing mechanics of Souls-like combat with the scale and social depth of a massively multiplayer world. DarkCraft invites players to explore a bleak open world filled with ruined castles, forgotten temples, and hostile enemies lurking at every corner, offering both solo and cooperative play. The game emphasizes boss hunting, guild activities, and PvP skirmishes, allowing players to prove their dominance in a dark fantasy setting. Its design focuses on visceral combat, strategic stamina management, and the thrill of survival against overwhelming odds, while also encouraging community-driven progression through guilds and alliances. Players can expect a mix of exploration, competitive encounters, and story-rich quests that highlight the tension between survival and supremacy. Developed and published by Take-Top Entertainment, DarkCraft positions itself as the first MMORPG in the Souls-like genre, promising a unique fusion of hardcore action and online multiplayer systems. DarkCraft is currently listed on Steam with its release date to be announced and will be available exclusively on PC.
Silence breaks, and he awakens.
DarkSwitch is a vertical survival city builder set atop a colossal tree, where players must guide their people to rebuild civilization above a deadly fog that has consumed the world. Developed by Cybertemple, the game blends city building, resource management, exploration, and tower defense mechanics in a unique woodpunk setting. The story begins after a mysterious fog sweeps across the land, warping minds and devouring everything, forcing survivors to flee upwards into the treetops. As leader of a fragile colony, players must balance survival and expansion, constructing sprawling settlements connected by cable cars, windmills, and airships while defending against twisted creatures emerging from the fog. Gameplay emphasizes strategic planning, time-sensitive expeditions, and dynamic fog surges that can alter entire strategies in an instant, while story-driven quests deepen the lore of this fallen society. The game's voxel-based fog system creates unpredictable hazards, ensuring no two playthroughs feel the same. With its mix of survival tension, creative construction, and narrative depth, DarkSwitch promises a fresh take on the genre. DarkSwitch will launch worldwide on March 12, 2026 for PC via Steam and GOG, with a demo already available on Steam. Gods, Death and Reapers is a free-to-play extraction action RPG developed and published by Wolcen Studio, set in a mythological afterlife where the gods are dead and death is the only master. Players take on the role of a Reaper, forced into servitude, battling through chaotic PvPvE encounters across shattered realms where ancient mythos and dark fantasy collide. The game blends isometric hack-and-slash combat with high-stakes extraction mechanics, requiring players to fight hordes of corrupted enemies, rival reapers, and bosses while securing loot to bring balance, or chaos, to the afterlife. Modes include solo story-driven campaigns, co-op PvE runs, and competitive PvP, all tied together by a progression system that rewards risk-taking and mastery of diverse weapons and abilities. Its grim atmosphere, cinematic presentation, and emphasis on replayability position it as a unique hybrid between traditional ARPGs and modern extraction shooters. God's Death and Reapers is officially slated for release in 2026 on PC via Steam, with playtests already underway for early community feedback.
But for us, Reapers, death is but the beginning.
Hello Sunshine is a survival mystery RPG from Red Thread Games that fuses atmospheric exploration with a massive mechanical twist. Hello Sunshine places players in the role of the last employee of a fallen corporate empire, wandering through sun-scorched ruins while accompanied by a towering war machine that serves as both protector and lifeline. By day, you scavenge for supplies, avoid hostile drones, and uncover fragments of a world where corporations promised a better future but delivered collapse. At night, the wasteland turns freezing, forcing you to camp near your robot companion to survive, repair its systems, and craft new gear. The game blends survival mechanics with narrative-driven mystery, offering solo or two-player co-op play, and its tone has been described as a mix of Fallout, Horizon Zero Dawn, and even Studio Ghibli's Castle in the Sky. With its unique giant robot companion mechanic, Hello Sunshine stands out in the crowded survival genre, promising both emotional storytelling and tense resource management. Hello Sunshine is currently in development for PC, with its release date yet to be announced. Skarven is a narrative-driven boomer shooter developed by Migund Mathorn, set in a dark and distorted vision of the Danish countryside. Skarven blends the fast-paced, retro-inspired gunplay of classic shooters with a strong narrative focus, drawing inspiration from Half-Life in its commitment to real-time storytelling without ever taking control away from the player. The game's atmosphere is uniquely steeped in Danish folklore and rural landscapes, where players battle grotesque botanical abominations and a fanatical militant cult across fallow fields and eerie villages. Unlike many modern boomer shooters that emphasize pure action, Skarven promises a carefully crafted journey with deep lore, razor-sharp mechanics, and a thick, oppressive atmosphere that elevates its gunfights into story-driven encounters. Its art direction is deliberately calculated to evoke unease, while its pacing balances frantic combat with exploration and narrative discovery. With its fusion of old-school FPS intensity and modern storytelling ambition, Skarven is positioning itself as one of the most distinctive indie shooters on the horizon. Skarven is currently in development with its release date yet to be announced, and it will launch on PC via Steam. Springs Eternal is a lo-fi first-person narrative exploration game from Fulbright, the studio behind Gone Home and Tacoma, set within the eerie Stillwater Springs hot springs in the dead of night. Springs Eternal invites players into a dreamlike, half-remembered otherworld where winding wooded paths, fog-shrouded pines, and dithered late 90s-inspired visuals create a haunting yet nostalgic atmosphere. As you explore with flashlight in hand, you encounter lost souls drawn to the springs. Philosophers debating, wanderers reflecting, and figures tied to your own past, while piecing together the heartfelt memory of a romantic relationship that brought you there. The game emphasizes mood and storytelling over mechanics, offering a compact 2 to 3 hour experience that blends surreal exploration with emotional resonance. Its lo-fi aesthetic and purple-hued palette evoke the era of early PC and console games, while its narrative continues Fulbright's tradition of intimate, human-centered storytelling. Springs Eternal is officially set to release in 2026 for PC via Steam. Total War Warhammer 3: Lords of the End Times is the most ambitious expansion yet for Creative Assembly's fantasy strategy Epic, bringing the apocalyptic end times narrative into the game with the arrival of Nagash, the Great Necromancer. This DLC introduces legendary lords such as Nagash, Dieter Helsnicht, Wallach Harkon, and the Nameless, alongside new units like Morghast Arkai, Tomb Heralds, and Dread Abyssals, expanding the rosters of Vampire Counts, Tomb Kings, and other undead factions. The campaign is centered on the cataclysmic end times, where players must navigate collapsing alliances, world-ending events, and the rise of godlike powers, reshaping the Warhammer world in unprecedented ways. Lords of the End Times adds new mechanics tied to necromancy, corruption, and apocalyptic warfare, while offering unique victory conditions that reflect the lore's final battles. With its mix of narrative-driven chaos and massive army expansions, this DLC is designed to be both a culmination of the trilogy and a fresh challenge for veterans. Lords of the End Times is officially set to release in summer 2026 for PC via Steam and Epic Games Store.
And for eternity, you will serve.
Windrose is an upcoming pirate-themed survival crafting adventure, formerly known as Crosswind, developed by Windrose Crew. Windrose casts players into the age of piracy, where you begin as a betrayed courier and must rise to become a feared raider across seas filled with rival empires, pirate factions, and a shadowy power moving quietly beneath the waves. The game blends high seas combat, base building, exploration, and survival mechanics, offering both solo play and online co-op with friends. Ship-to-land gameplay is seamless, allowing players to engage in naval battles, sword fights, and resource gathering while expanding their influence across ports, islands, and unsettled waters. Its narrative-driven progression ensures that what begins as a struggle to endure gradually evolves into a larger conflict tied to political intrigue and supernatural forces. With stylized visuals, character customization, and a focus on emergent player-driven stories, Windrose aims to capture the thrill of swashbuckling adventure while delivering depth through crafting, farming, and exploration systems. Windrose is confirmed for release on PC via Steam, with its launch window yet to be announced. The Relic First Guardian is a dark fantasy action RPG developed by Project Cloud Games and published by Perp Games, blending cinematic swordplay with a narrative rooted in Korean folklore. In this Souls-like adventure, players take on the role of the Guardian, tasked with gathering fragments of a powerful relic to seal away the encroaching void of darkness. The game emphasizes precise, visceral combat, where every strike and dodge carries weight, while exploration reveals a mythological world filled with sorrowful bosses, tragic characters, and haunting landscapes inspired by East Asian myth. Unlike traditional hack-and-slash titles, the Relic First Guardian integrates storytelling directly into gameplay, ensuring that narrative beats unfold seamlessly without breaking immersion. Its design draws comparisons to The Witcher and Dark Souls, offering a mix of supernatural sleuthing, lore-rich encounters, and high-stakes battles against foes described as very, very sad bosses. With its blend of cinematic presentation, mythological depth, and challenging gameplay, the title aims to stand out as one of the most atmospheric RPGs of its generation. The Relic is officially set to release in early 2026 for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC via Steam.
Only the pinwheel remembers the love of a family.
Dungeons of Dusk is a newly announced turn-based dungeon-crawling RPG from New Blood Interactive and 68K Studios, set canonically between the episodes of the cult classic FPS Dusk. Unlike its shooter predecessor, this spin-off transforms the series into a tactical, grid-based dungeon crawler, where players guide adventurers through labyrinthine levels filled with traps, monsters, and secrets. The game features a 30-level campaign with character progression, NPC interactions, and branching paths, alongside additional modes such as Endless Arena, Boss Rush, and Survival, each designed to test different aspects of player skill and endurance. Fans of retro-inspired design will find familiar enemies reimagined for turn-based combat, while new foes expand the lore of the Dusk universe. Its art direction retains the gritty, low-poly aesthetic of the original, but gameplay emphasizes strategy, resource management, and careful exploration rather than twitch reflexes. With its blend of nostalgia and genre reinvention, Dungeons of Dusk aims to broaden the series' appeal while staying true to its roots. Dungeons of Dusk is officially set to release in 2026 for PC, Steam and GOG, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch, Switch 2, iOS, and Android, with a PC demo coming soon. Starsand Island is a cozy life simulation adventure developed by Chinese studio Seed Lab, inspired by Stardew Valley and Studio Ghibli's art style, where players return to their childhood island to rebuild a peaceful life while uncovering its hidden mysteries. At its core, the game offers farming, crafting, fishing, and ranching, but expands the genre with exploration of ancient ruins, taming magical beasts, and battling corrupted creatures using bows, slingshots, and other weapons. Players can choose different careers: angler, crafter, explorer, farmer, or rancher, while forming friendships with island residents and restoring tranquility to the land. Multiplayer features allow teaming up with friends, sharing resources and tackling bosses together, while the Switch 2 version introduces quality mode, 45 frames per second at 1080p, and performance mode, 60 frames per second at 1080p, plus game chat and mouse support for online play. With its blend of serene slice-of-life gameplay and light combat, Starsand Island promises both relaxation and adventure. Starsand Island is officially set to release on February 1st, 2026 for PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Nintendo Switch 2. Remnant Protocol is a sci-fi flight sim strategy game developed by progenitor game studios Looted, blending tactical squad command with cinematic space combat. Set in a future where humanity's survival hinges on fragile alliances, players step into the cockpit as a commander leading wingmates through large-scale battles across fractured star systems. The game emphasizes both real-time dogfighting and strategic oversight, requiring players to balance squad positioning, resource management, and adaptive tactics against overwhelming enemy fleets. Its narrative explores rebellion and loyalty, with branching missions that reflect the consequences of player choices, while its visual design highlights vast cosmic backdrops and detailed spacecraft models. Unlike traditional space shooters, Remnant Protocol integrates extraction-style risk-reward mechanics, encouraging players to decide when to push deeper into hostile territory or retreat with salvage technology. With its mix of tactical depth, immersive storytelling, and high-octane aerial combat, the game positions itself as a fresh entry in the space strategy genre. Remnant Protocol is officially set to release worldwide on March 12, 2026 for PC via Steam. Warhammer 40,000. Dawn of War 4 is the long-awaited return of the iconic RTS series developed by King Art Games and published by Deep Silver, bringing the apocalyptic end times of Cronus to life with unprecedented scale and narrative depth. The campaign, co-written by Black Library author John French, follows the Blood Ravens as they return to Cronus after the Dark Crusade, facing orc warlords, Mechanicus priests, and an ancient horror buried for eons. For the first time in the franchise, a Primarch, Lionel Johnson of the Dark Angels, is fully playable, marking a groundbreaking moment in Warhammer 40k video game history. Alongside the Blood Ravens, the Dark Angels join as a major faction, offering tactical contrast between precision strikes and overwhelming battlefield dominance. The game features over 70 campaign missions, plus Last Stand, Skirmish, and multiplayer modes, while introducing the Adeptus Mechanicus as a playable faction for the first time. With cinematic storytelling, massive battles, and faction diversity, Dawn of War 4 aims to redefine large-scale RTS gameplay in the Warhammer universe. Warhammer 40,000. Dawn of War 4 is officially set to release in 2026 exclusively for PC via Steam. Streets of Fortuna is a free-roaming sandbox RPG from Kitfox Games, designed as a survival megasim set in a sprawling ancient city where every choice shapes your destiny. In this procedurally generated world, players begin as a street rat with nothing and must carve out a path to survival and power, whether as a thief, priest, tradesman, smuggler, alchemist, spy, or even a rebel leader capable of rivaling the city's overlord. The game emphasizes emergent storytelling over linear quests, with Fortuna itself acting as a living character that evolves in response to player actions. Markets shift, factions rise and fall, and opportunities emerge dynamically. Tarn Adams, co-creator of Dwarf Fortress, has contributed design expertise, ensuring deep simulation systems that allow for unpredictable outcomes and layered roleplay. Professions, social climbing, and survival mechanics intertwine with stealth, crafting, and exploration, offering immense replayability. Streets of Fortuna promises modability, long-term support, and a richly detailed medieval-inspired cityscape where strategy, wit, and adaptability determine success. Streets of Fortuna is currently in development with its release date to be announced, and it will launch on PC via Steam.
It's your sandbox. Make your own story in Streets of Fortuna, welcoming closed alpha testers in 2026.
Halloween. The game is an upcoming asymmetrical multiplayer horror title from IllFonic, the studio behind Friday the 13th. The game, developed in partnership with Gun Media and based directly on John Carpenter's 1978 slasher classic. In this chilling adaptation, players can step into the role of Michael Myers himself, stalking the suburban streets of Haddonfield, or play as survivors desperately trying to escape his wrath. IllFonic has confirmed support for both PvP and co-op online play, while also allowing solo experiences, making it accessible to a wide range of players. The first revealed map, Haddonfield Heights, meticulously recreates the eerie atmosphere of Carpenter's film, complete with leaf-strewn streets, shadowy bedrooms, and the iconic water tower looming in the distance. The design emphasizes tension and unpredictability, with Myers' presence creating constant dread, while survivors must use stealth, teamwork, and resourcefulness to survive. IllFonic's experience with asymmetrical horror ensures gameplay will balance cinematic authenticity with replayable mechanics, aiming to rival titles like Dead by Daylight. Halloween, the game is officially set to release in 2026 for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. Unyverse is an Afrofuturistic action sci-fi RPG developed by Afrim Studios, blending fast-paced combat with deep role-playing mechanics in a galaxy where technology and tradition collide. Set in a sprawling universe inspired by African mythologies and futurist visions, players create highly customizable characters and embark on journeys that balance exploration, diplomacy, and intense fighting game-style battles against ferocious beasts and rival factions. The game emphasizes choice-driven storytelling, allowing players to shape the fate of entire star systems through alliances, betrayals, and moral decisions that ripple across the galaxy. Its Afrofuturist aesthetic combines vibrant cultural motifs with advanced technology, offering a fresh perspective in the RPG genre. Beyond combat, players can relax in social hubs, interact with NPCs, and uncover lore-rich narratives that expand the world's depth. With a demo already available on Steam, Unyverse has been showcased at major gaming events like the PC gaming show Most Wanted, where its unique blend of action and world-building drew attention for its originality. Unyverse is officially slated for release in Q4 2026 on PC via Steam.
Out here. You can't control the universe.
Wardrum is a rhythm-based tactical roguelite from Mopeful Games published by Team 17 that fuses the intensity of turn-based combat with the pulse of music-driven gameplay. In Wardrum, players command a warband of legendary warriors who fight, move, and unleash abilities in sync with the beat of the drum, turning every battle into a strategic performance. The game's unique mechanic requires mastering rhythm to chain attacks, defy death, and overcome waves of enemies, blending the precision of tactical RPGs with the energy of rhythm games. Each run is procedurally generated, offering new challenges, warband compositions, and magical threats tied to poorly timed sorcery that players must counter through perfectly executed beats. The roguelite structure ensures replayability, with progression tied to unlocking new warriors, abilities, and relics that expand tactical options. Its art style emphasizes a dark, mystical atmosphere, while the soundtrack drives both tension and empowerment, making rhythm not just aesthetic but central to survival. Wardrum is officially set to release in 2026 for PC via Steam, with wishlisting already available. Hello Sunshine is a survival mystery RPG from Red Thread Games, set in the sun-scorched ruins of a fallen corporate empire where players must endure both blistering days and freezing nights alongside a towering war machine companion. By day, you scavenge for supplies, evade hostile drones, and uncover fragments of a world where corporations promise salvation but delivered collapse. By night, the wasteland turns deadly cold, forcing you to camp near your mechanical guardian to survive, repair its systems, and craft new gear. The game blends traditional survival mechanics, resource gathering, crafting, and exploration with a unique twist, the giant robot companion that serves as protector, lifeline, and narrative anchor. Solo or co-op play allows players to experience emergent storytelling, while its atmosphere has been described as a fusion of Fallout Horizon Zero Dawn and Studio Ghibli's Castle in the Sky. With its cinematic presentation, emotional depth, and emphasis on survival strategy tied to companionship, Hello Sunshine stands out in a crowded genre. Hello Sunshine is currently in development for PC via Steam, with its release date yet to be announced. Queen's Domain is a retro-style first-person fantasy action RPG developed by Freshly Baked Games and published by Future Friends Games, designed as a spiritual homage to From Software's classic King's Field series. The game begins with the player washed ashore on the mysterious Isle of Niseed, where the central quest is to uncover the fate of your missing father while navigating a labyrinthine world filled with secrets, dangers, and interconnected pathways. Combat is deliberately brutal and weighty, emphasizing timing, positioning, and resource management, while traversal mechanics allow players to wield the legendary Holy Sword Endu to leap across platforms and explore hidden areas. Queen's Domain embraces a retro fantasy aesthetic with low poly visuals and atmospheric design that evoke the feel of late 90s RPGs, while offering modern refinements in storytelling and exploration. Its world is richly layered with lore, NPCs, and environmental storytelling, ensuring that every corner of the island holds potential revelations or deadly encounters. With its blend of nostalgic design and modern gameplay depth, Queen's Domain is positioned as a challenging yet rewarding experience for fans of classic action RPGs. Queen's Domain is officially slated for release in 2026 on PC via Steam, with a demo already available for players to try. Epoch Reset is a 2.5D cyberpunk narrative adventure developed by Kakahashi Games, blending time loop mechanics, anime-inspired storytelling, and sci-fi exploration into a richly atmospheric experience. The game follows Hector Rodriguez, a struggling scientist who accidentally creates the world's first working time machine, only to discover that his invention may ultimately destroy reality. Pursued by assassins from the future, Hector must navigate branching timelines, repair androids through minigames, and unravel paradoxes that threaten the fabric of existence. Players will explore futuristic cityscapes across Hong Kong, Tokyo, and other neon-lit metropolises, encountering multiple protagonists whose intertwined stories reveal the consequences of tampering with time. Inspired by visual novels like Steins Gate, Epoch Reset emphasizes emotional depth, narrative twists, and replayability through its time-bending structure, while its lo-fi anime aesthetic and immersive soundtrack reinforce the sense of urgency and wonder. With its mix of shoujo-style character drama and sci-fi paradoxes, the game aims to deliver both heartfelt storytelling and cerebral gameplay. Epoch Reset is officially slated for release in 2027 on PC via Steam. Substructure is a factory-building and automation strategy game from dubious design, published by Hooded Horse, set on a mysterious rogue planet at the edge of the solar system. Players arrive as part of an expeditionary mission to investigate the planet's sudden appearance, only to discover vast underground layers filled with resources, secrets, and dangers. The core gameplay revolves around digging deep into the alien world, establishing complex production chains, and harnessing automation to survive and thrive. As you expand, you'll uncover hidden mysteries tied to the planet's origins, balancing exploration with efficient resource management. Substructure emphasizes replayability through moddability, co-op multiplayer, and sandbox-style systems, allowing players to craft unique colonies while facing environmental challenges. Its design draws inspiration from Factorio, but adds narrative intrigue and vertical progression, making the descent into the planet's depths both a logistical puzzle and a story-driven journey. Substructure is officially set to launch in PC Early Access via Steam, with its release window listed as coming soon. Lunar Strike is a sci-fi narrative adventure and exploration game developed by Cognition Europe, set on the moon's south pole in the year 2119, where players take on the role of a junior astroarchivist tasked with documenting humanity's final lunar colony before its inevitable collapse. The game blends speculative fiction with hard science, focusing on survival and character-driven storytelling rather than combat. Players must scan and preserve scientific, cultural, and personal records while managing oxygen, power, and time in the harsh lunar environment. As sabotage destabilizes the colony, the mission shifts from archival preservation to survival, forcing players to decide which knowledge and memories are worth saving for future generations. The protagonist, Bo, a tech-augmented archivist, encounters diverse characters whose stories intertwine with the fate of the colony, creating a deeply emotional and morally complex narrative. With its grounded realism, lo-fi aesthetic, and emphasis on memory and morality, Lunar Strike positions itself as a thoughtful, combat-free survival experience that challenges players to weigh preservation against survival. Lunar Strike is officially set to release in May 2026 for PC via Steam, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. And that's the full list. A busy couple of days, a wild end to the year. If anything here grabbed your attention, drop it in the comments. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you in the next one.